Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Meta Cafe. Grab your coffee, your tea, your water, your whatever your pleasure is this morning, and sit back and let's talk some astrology. And we're actually going to do some readings today. And in order to make room for that, I'm going to just dive right into what's happening today. We'll save the human design stuff for tomorrow. I did draw an oracle card that I definitely want to share with everybody this morning. What's going on for the day, all right? Let's see, who do we have out there? Good morning, Suzanne. Good morning, Cheryl. I'm not sure who that is, but good morning to everyone. And hold on, I'm going to close out my email. Okay, so it doesn't make sounds in the background. Good morning, Marlene. I have charts for Roseanne. I have charts for Marlene. I have charts for Suzanne. But let's talk really quickly about what's going on today, and then we can dig into the charts, okay? Of course, I have Suzanne's chart right in front of me. I need the chart of today. So today is another one of those sort of quiet days. Quiet is a relative term, though, because I think that some people are experiencing anything but quiet in their lives as maybe a result of the Pluto-Mars conjunction last week and the things that might have brought up for them or the situations in which they found themselves in that are taking some time to heal or time to let go, etc. I know I was contacted by a couple of different people yesterday who just feel like the energy is heavy. And so I was looking for an answer to that this morning. And, sometimes these transits, they happen in a moment and their ramifications are longer for people, depending on where it was in their chart or what it was that the experience brought up for them. And one of the things I like to do is there's this little grid on charts. Let's see, this is the chart of the moment. So there's this little grid here, and it helps. It tells you where the planets are located by element and by mode of operation. So across the top, you see a C, an F, and an M. That means cardinal, fixed, and mutable. And the C, or cardinal, means that it is the energy of beginnings. It is the launching kind of energies. And then the fixed signs or the fixed energy is the more loyal, steadfast, stays the course energy. The mutable energy, of course, implies change, and it's the energy that brings about change. Now, the elements are the air, earth, fire, and water, and we're pretty familiar with those kinds of energies. We have had a preponderance of fire and earth energies on the planet for quite a while now. And at least maybe since, February, as planets were moving into Aries and we were getting ready for the spring equinox, and the fire energy hasn't released its hold yet. In fact, we have 9 planets right now. No, sorry, 7 planets in fire signs. And of course, not just planets. I'm counting points, and I'm counting things like Eris and Chiron and Ceres, which other astrologers may not use, but I like to use those because I feel like they round out the picture a bit. And I could even use others right now. I could, now I want to look at the fixed stars. Thank you, Angie, and see what they might be bringing. And anyway, I don't want to talk about that right this minute, but the signs, the cardinal, fixed, and mutable, right now, cardinal is filled with 9 points. So if you take the 9 cardinal and you look at the 7 fire, what sign resonates with that energy? And that's Aries energy, right? Aries is the cardinal fire sign. And the cardinal fire sign then means that we're all sort of being filtered, or all of the energy coming into each one of us is sort of being filtered through Aries lenses. So that energy tends to be kind of young and youthful, and sometimes acts first, thinks later. It's bold. It is pushing us to begin something new, even though remember that, I think I wrote blog post on this, or maybe I was talking to you guys about that feeling of your foot on the brake and your foot on the gas at the same time. And, that spins the tires. And that's kind of still happening for us in some places. And it doesn't help that we have some planets in retrograde motion. We have other planets like Mars that are getting ready to retrograde. But then once in a while, we have a day like today where the moon is sitting in a trine, which is a 120-degree angle, and meaning it is a very easy flowing energy between the moon and the planet Uranus. And that can make for some surprises, some breakthroughs in the energy. And Suzanne just put up a great word, stalling. It is like stalling, where maybe you've got the wrong gas in your tank, right? And your car is sputtering. So it's that kind of energy. But then a day like today, where the moon is in such a powerful angle to Uranus, comes along, and we may be able to just break right on through whatever it was that has been holding us back. And sometimes that's a good thing, right? Sometimes those kind of surprises that break us in past the impasse that we've been at are really good things. And other times it can be disturbing as we feel like, I'm being kind of pushed in this direction. And I want people to understand, Roseanne says, oh no, wrong gas. Right, we don't put diesel in a gas engine. It doesn't work. In fact, it doesn't work at all. And not because I've done that. I heard of people that have done that, which is why they suddenly made diesel nozzles that won't fit into your tank if you don't have a diesel tank or a diesel car or something to that effect. Anyway, that's a complete aside. So today we get to the only major aspect that Luna is making today is that trine with Uranus. And that means be aware, not beware, be aware and be ready and be surprised when magical things might happen or surprising things might happen. And maybe nothing happens at all. Maybe it's just a brilliant idea and aha, that occurs to you, and it opens the doorway for something else. So I think today we get to move a little bit forward. Maybe the car for that moment is going to lurch forward and it's going to work. And then tomorrow is a different day. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. Because today, now remember today, the sun why my brain isn't on, my brain is using the wrong gas this morning. It isn't connecting with my mouth in the correct way. What I'm trying to say is that the moon today is still in the sign of Sagittarius, and that, it's been there a couple of days now, which means we're getting to the end of that transit through Sagittarius. It is approaching another void, and that will be at 8:50 p.m. tonight. It's a very short void, of course, moon. It's from 8:50 p.m. to 10:06 p.m. Gosh, that's not even 2 hours for you all on the East Coast, and 5:50 p.m. to 7:06 p.m. for us here on the West Coast. Little tiny void, of course, moon, past the work day, so it shouldn't bother anybody. You might feel a little more tired or lethargic this evening when you get home. It'll be a good night to sit back and have a glass of wine or, your favorite beer, whatever, and just chill, right? So that's tonight. And then the moon moves into Capricorn. And that's why I say tomorrow will be a completely different day. Sagittarius, fire energy, Capricorn, earth energy, lots of planets in Capricorn. So we're going to have to talk about the moon conjuncting Saturn and Mars and the black moon Lilith. So we'll talk about that more tomorrow. All right. So I want to dig in and is there anything else I needed to tell you before I go off? No, I think we're good. Okay, so I want to go into people's readings. And remember yesterday I had that piece of paper, and I'll be danged if I can find that paper. It just sort of disappeared. Apparently I don't need it in order to tell you the information that I need to tell you. And that's okay with me. The first person's chart I have is Suzanne. Now, this is going to be different for us today because when we were on Zoom, I could bring people in and I could talk to you and I could see you. So here I'm talking to myself, but hopefully you're hearing. And if you have questions about what I'm reading or what I'm saying, please put it in the comments, and if it's something that is okay to share. And I will certainly answer your question or, entertain whatever it is the comments are. So, Suzanne, you be first. You're first because you're on top. So Suzanne, so remember what we're looking at today is we talked yesterday about Mars getting ready to retrograde. It's not really retrograding until June 26th. But we move into the shadow as of May 12th, which is next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but a week from this Saturday. And so we want to take a look at how that might affect you. What is the degree span in your chart that this is going to happen across? And the degrees are 28 degrees Capricorn to 9 degrees Aquarius. And then it'll retrograde back from 9 degrees Aquarius into 28 degrees Capricorn, and then it moves forward again over that same degree. So wherever 28 degrees Capricorn to 9 degrees Aquarius is in your chart is where the action is going to start and stop, right? Where there's maybe going to be a pause or a lull, or let's just call it a variance in how it is the energy will express for you in your life. So having said that, then Suzanne, Mars for you right now is sitting at the in the 9th house. And the 9th house is a house of expansion and growth. In fact, you actually have Pluto, the Black Moon Lilith, and Mars in your 9th house. And Saturn, which is lagging a few degrees behind these planets, is in your 8th house. So Saturn is kind of an outlier here. He's not really going to be participating in this dynamic of going back and forth. And in your chart, then, that means that, let me see if I can show this to you. Well, you've got your chart. I sent you a copy of your chart, so you can see where I circled in red, correct? So I want you to notice the red line that I drew. The red line is the place where 9 degrees of Aquarius is in your chart. That means Mars is going to be moving across your midheaven. Those letters MC stand for midheaven. And the midheaven is literally one of the most sensitive spots in the chart because it's the gateway to your worldly self, right? It takes the expansion energy in gate 9 in that 9th house, and it moves it from learning and expanding and into actual placement of doing something about it, expressing your genius, expressing your authority, your authenticity out in the world. It takes a very outer world stance once it crosses over the midheaven. Okay. Yes, we can see her chart, if that's okay with her. Let me move her birth energy up there so we don't see that. Okay. So here's her 9th house right now, where Mars and Pluto and the Black Moon Lilith are sitting. And then over here is the red line where the planet Mars is going to just cross over her midheaven. And then it will stall out, so to speak, turn retrograde and move backwards into the 9th house. Good morning, Londa. So what we have then, Suzanne, is there must be a lot of growth happening for you right now, a lot of expansion, maybe meeting new people who are broadening your horizons and are bringing you new information. And, in some way, you have this wow factor going on in your life right now. And now that I say that, but it doesn't mean that this happens all easily and without challenge, because anytime we're growing, we always are getting into that energy of sometimes that, the brick wall that we meet sometimes. Susanna saying, makes so much sense with all that is happening in my life right now. So there's a reason why this is happening. There's a lot of focus right now in the sign of Capricorn for you about both growing, but Capricorn ruled by Saturn also says focus. So there must be growth happening in a more focused way, or else you are establishing a new curriculum, if you will, a new foundation from which you are going to rule your life or run your life. And so 1970 you were born. Okay. So as the moon crosses, as the planet Mars crosses over your ascendant, it is going to create an opening, if you will, for what may be the expression of all of this growth and expansion in your outer world, in your work life. It would be like, for example, going to college and learning all these new skills, getting your degree. And then when the planet Mars crosses over the midheaven, then now I'm ready. I've got this degree and I'm out there looking for jobs, and I'm, starting my life with this piece of paper showing everybody my authority. And now I'm going my authority out in the world. And so that's exactly what this is like for you, getting all dressed up and ready to go out into the world. And then the planet of action goes retrograde. How frustrating, right? So frustrating to have, it's all dressed up and nowhere to go. Well, that's not quite true, right? You do have more to go. You have somewhere to go. And it's an inward destination now after we get through, let's say, from mid-May until the retrograde is over. And what is it that I have to allow on the inner realms in order for me to, once Mars moves back over this point, which won't be until the fall, I'm sorry to say, but it'll be a stronger representation of what it is you really want to demonstrate in the world if you do wait, right? If you do take the time, if it's like, remember when Mercury goes retrograde, and I always say to people, don't sign contracts unless you've reread, and just know and expect that things are going to go wonky. Well, if you launch something new and you go out there in the world during a Mars retrograde and try to take action, it may not go anywhere, or it may totally explode on you. So one of the things that I try to tell people to do is resist launching something new or doing anything brand new, taking action in any new way during a Mars retrograde, unless you have Mars retrograde in your own chart, which you do not. So continue with the growth pattern. Know that you are doing something important right now, whatever way it is that you're growing and expanding, because later in the fall, when we get past Mars retrograde, you will be ready to move forward with this and be seen, recognized, valued, heard in the world in the way that you want to be. And so it's all worth it. Now, let's look at Aries in your chart, just because Aries is the sign that Mars rules. And Aries, and I don't know why I didn't do this, but let me see if I can highlight it really quick. And then I will show it to you. And I'm highlighting it in green. Should be red, but red highlighters don't work so well. So see the highlighted spot, and I don't know if you can see it very well because the light in here sucks this morning. Right here is Aries in your chart. And Aries in your chart is straddling the 11th house and the 12th house. And of course, that is where the planet Uranus is going to move out of Aries and move into Taurus. And one of the things I would guess that you might be working on is, and by the way, your natal Eris, unlike Mimi's yesterday, isn't engaged here. It's at 12 degrees. It'll be after the fact, after the retrograde, that this gets connected for you. And we'll probably have to talk about it at that point. But what you're looking at here now is Uranus, the Sun, Eris, and soon Mercury, like tomorrow, Mercury will all be in your 12th house. And that means this is in order for you to start something new and to move forward fearlessly, you're going to have to deal with whatever it is that's in your subconscious mind that's holding you back, that the fear, the limiting thoughts, the patterns that have created self-sabotage. So maybe a good use of the time for you during Mars's little dance is to explore the inner world and explore where it is that you're holding yourself back. She says, crap. And I'm like, yeah, crap. It is crap, right? It's the house that we think of as the hidden, right? It's everything that is not quite in your conscious mind. Yet, if you choose to go dig through the dirt of that part of your chart, then you come back with jewels, right? You come back with gold. You come back with beautiful energies that you can clear. Or, clearing is one way to look at it. But the other thing about it is you can own it. You can bring it in and you can just love every part of you that's been in fear, that's been in lack, that's been in any kind of place of stopping yourself from moving forward, and just, love it. It's been a valid experience, right? But now you're ready to move beyond that. And to move beyond that, you have to look at it. You have to deal with it. So I hope that helps you. She says, I love that. I need that. And the I have to. I love this. I have to, right? I want you to reconfigure that to I want to, right? I want to. Anytime we say I have to, it's like, oh, I have to go to the doctor. I have to go to the dentist. No, this is I want to. I want to clear this out, because when I do, I am going to be able to take action in the direction that I want to and do it fearlessly. Yay, she changed it. I'm going to put this up to I want to. And that is, oh, is that your little girl? Oh my God, that baby is precious. All right. Thank you very much, Suzanne, for letting us share your chart. And you are also an amazing individual. The world needs you out there. Clear out the closet and get ready to join the world. So next I have my friend, Rosanna Dana. That's your granddaughter? You have a granddaughter? Oh my goodness, she's adorable. She is amazing. I love grandkids. I share my pictures of my new little Wyatt because he's adorable. But what I should start doing is sharing pictures of my other ones, because they're adorable too. They all are. Anyway, I just love children. It must be the child in me. I resonate with that kid energy. So Miss Roseanne. Now, Roseanne, as I look at your chart, please check for me that I pulled the right one. You're November 6th, correct? Correct. Roseanne and I think I did delete the wrong chart. So hopefully we've got the right chart and I'm not channeling somebody else's to you. So when we look at Roseanne, is it okay, Roseanne, if I show your chart for people to see? Do you hear me, Roseanne? Roseanne, Earth to Roseanne. Okay, well, I'm going to assume, let's just start talking. Maybe there's a glitch in the system. So Roseanne is a Scorpio, and that makes Mars one of the co-rulers of her sign. And she's laughing out loud. So can I share your chart? Got it. Okay. So I'm going to show you Roseanne's chart. Now, remember how when we were looking at Roseanne, she had her Aries over here. And so in your case, you actually have the retrograde going on here. So this is Mars, right? Mars and Pluto and the Black Moon Lilith. And for you, this is all going to happen in your 12th house. A delay in the system. Thank you, Londa, for letting me know that. So Roseanne, this is going to be an interesting time for you. And I love that you're so willing to do the deep dive. I know Roseanne because I've done readings for her, and she's been going through my coaching program. And so I know this is going to be a good time for you. At least, you're not going kicking and screaming into the dark to find the things that you need to find. Because I just know the way you are, you're open and you're willing to do the work that you need to do. And Mars is going to give you that real strength to be able to go into that deeper place, right? To go into the wound, to go into the places where you've been hurt, right? Through life, with your upbringing, with your relationships, where life has let you down, where you have felt not taken care of. So for you, this is going to be a juicy yet poignant time, I think. One where, the real blessing in it is when you look backwards, when you get past all of this and you look back and you see that everything that had been holding you back is gone or is released, or at least, everything is moving more smoothly so that you can release this kind of thing. This is also the setup for a long-term transit of Pluto moving through your 12th house. So it's not done with you. But I just want to say that Pluto coming through here, it won't be until later in the year, but Pluto starting its move through the 12th house is very empowering for you to be able, I think, this is just me thinking this because Jupiter is at that point also going to be moving through your 10th house, that it'll be time. It'll signal the time for you to go back out into the world and do the work that you do so well, hypnosis or healing work, the deeper work that people need to do. And I think that means that you will be able to make a change to being that once more. But because I know that in your human design, you have that third line profile, the experience will be different. It won't be the exact same thing that you were doing before, but something very powerful is happening to you. Or maybe you're just getting the glimpse of it right now. And Mars is going to stall things a bit for you while you get clear of some things, like what's stopping you? Where are the fears? How do I deal with those fears? And following your type and your strategy, of course, always the way that you're going to do that. But to me, this is going to be deep dive territory. And I think it has a lot to do with your self-worth. And I'm going to show you where Aries is in your chart. Aries is crossing from your first house into your second house. Are you getting chills, girl? And so you can see Aries is down here, right? And you are also about ready to have a Chiron return. And I say about ready, but it'll be, 2019 before you actually have the Chiron return. But you're in the closing cycle of this, right? So there's got to be something that's coming up from where your original wound took place. And you were also born in 1970. So you would have only been about maybe 8 years old, 7 or 8 years old when the original wound took place. And in this particular time period, then, is the healing of this wound. At the same time, Mars moving through your 12th house, for most people, this would be a most unpleasant time. But because I know you really love going into that deep dive and looking through the darker places, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean the fact that you're really willing to look at your own stuff is going to be such a benefit for you in this. And I think what you're going to find is that you have some crystallized stuff around a lack of self-worth. I think all of your challenges stem from a feeling of not being good enough, not knowing enough, not being good enough, not having the self-esteem and the confidence to claim who you are and what you want to be. And, in your chart, let me show it again to everybody. Oh, wrong way, this way. Her natal Eris is sitting right next to her Chiron. So the Lady of Discord is sitting next to the wounded healer. And so it's like you're ripe for an upset here. You're ripe for a turning of upside down your life, right? And making it what you want to make it. This is all, you're in this driver's seat here. Yeah. Londa, I was just thinking some, words along this line. Londa says, you got this, right? You got this. You really do. You got this. And it's not like you just started working on yourself yesterday. You've been working on yourself for a long time, and that this is actually going to be the best time of your life. And I say that not because it's party time and happy joy, but because things that have been holding you back for a long time are about to be exposed. And we know what exposure does, right? Is new self-worth a timing issue? Maybe it could be a timing issue. Now's the time, right, to start digging through. Not to start digging through because I know you're digging, but to continue that dig, to really look it smack in the face, hold up everything in your life like it's a mirror. And what is it telling you about you, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly. What is it telling you about you? Where have you sold yourself out? Where have you not been your own best friend? Because this is a self-sabotaging house. So often we're saying one thing, like we want to have abundance, yet every time money comes in, it gets spent on something that's not really what you wanted to spend money on. Or, you just whittle it away. And I say money only because this is a money house, but this is also about earning money for you. Why aren't you earning money doing what you love? And that may be the real question. And it may stem from not feeling good enough or a belief that you can't make money doing what you're doing. Whatever it is, this is the time for you to really do that dig. I'm not sure if you journal, but if you journal, this is a great time to journal. You too, Suzanne, if you're still listening, this might be a really good time for you to journal as well. All right. It's soul time. Love it. Yes, indeed. Soul time. It is soul time. Do you have any other questions, Roseanne? Let's see. We have Angie saying, I'm so excited for you, Roseanne. Change is growth. Yes, it is, Angie. And then we have Londa saying, dive deep, be vulnerable so you can be you. Very cool. It's exactly right. And Suzanne says, I love it. And Angie, there's yours. There's Angie's comment. And Roseanne says, yes, can't wait to have a glorious experience with money. It's all in the desire. We talked about that this week, right? What do you desire? All right. So thank you, Roseanne, for letting us share your information this morning. And next is Marlene. Marlene is a Libra sun with a lot of Scorpio planets. So Marlene, wow, your life has probably been upside down a bit lately, hasn't it? A lot of change perhaps going on, a lot of transformation energy, maybe dealing with life-death issues or taxes, credit, the big things that we think of, that we the way that we share things with one another. You have Venus and Mercury, the part of fortune, and Neptune all in your 8th house. And one by one, they've been being hit by Jupiter over the last, since October. And now let's see, Jupiter's actually retrograding backwards to some of them, mostly Venus and then Mercury. Let's see if she'll even make it back that far. I'm not sure she'll make it back that far, but she is at this point backing into your natal Venus. And I bring that up because that may mean the settling of an estate, money coming in from sources you didn't expect. On the slight chance it can also mean more expenses. I don't say that to make you, cringe, but just to be aware. You may have incurred a big expense earlier in the year, and this will be you pulling away from that perhaps, or being able to get, grounded and move forward. But there's still quite a bit of change going on in your chart just because that's where Jupiter happens to be. Now, you, my friend, have a very similar setup to our friend Roseanne. So let me show you your chart. And, there's no mistake the people that gather together in the mornings for us to what? Hurricane upset last October. Wow. What hurricane? Oh, you live in Texas, don't you? So what would that have been? Harvey, or the one that devastated Houston and Galveston? And is that the one? Must be. I know there's a lag, so I'll update everybody as soon as she answers that question. But I want to show you your chart, if I may, because it looks so similar to Roseanne's, even though you're 10 years older than Roseanne, right? And I always like to say there's no mistakes that happen when people gather. Like there's a reason why all of us are kind of thrown in here together right now. And it must be, the only thing it can be, is that on some soul level, we're all learning the same lessons, or we all have, and it was Hurricane Harvey, she's saying. So I'm so sorry that you had that experience. I'm glad you got away with your life, and I'm glad that you're doing well at this point in time. And know that there's a long cycle here of transformation that's happening, and you will get past this. But there's also some other interesting things going on here, because for you, Mars is going to be, I mean, literally a carbon copy of everything I said to Roseanne, I could be saying to you. Because Suzanne says, oh, happy tears, Janet. I love it. In your case, you also are going through, I don't want to characterize it as the dark night of the soul, because I think you are aware enough to understand that this is juicy stuff, that going through these make you stronger, right? That releases you from old beliefs or the stuff in the trunk, the junk in the trunk that you no longer need, that is holding you back. And you also have the planet Ceres, the goddess Ceres, in your 12th house as well. Although yours is at 15 degrees, it won't happen yet, but eventually abundance will be restored here. You know how yesterday we talked about Ceres and how 6 months of the year, the world is in growth mode, and then we go into the harvest and death time of the year. Well, that's the same thing that's going on for you in your 12th house. Is there are periods of these stellar ahas that you have about what's going on in your unconscious mind, and how it is that you're sabotaging yourself, or how it is that you can really bring out the sparkly you, right? Followed by times where you go down to the dark, and maybe where you're not so willing to look, where shedding off layers. Marlene, you just hit the nail on the head. It's like that onion where we're peeling away. What is it, Shrek, that says, maybe it's Donkey, I don't know. In the movie Shrek, they are peeling away the layers of an onion. And that's exactly why we are such complex beings, right? There are so many layers to all of us. So you are definitely in shedding off layers mode, and Mars is going to deepen that for you. And I just have to share these comments. Diane Pegram says, yikes, this discussion is hitting home. And that's, one of the things, when I first started doing radio, people used to write to me and go, why do you spend so much time doing readings for people? And it started to really hurt my feelings, because I thought, I know you want content. I know you want to hear everything that's going on in the sky, and I give you that. But then by readings, people find things to resonate with in their own lives. And that's because if you're drawn to this show, or you're drawn here this morning, it's for a reason, right? There's something here in the message that you're receiving as well. And, lest you think that I'm not receiving, I'm also really, all I'm doing is sitting here talking to myself. None of you are really out there. I'm telling myself everything that I am telling you all. So it's that this is an interaction. We are exchanging energy here. So everybody's receiving and everybody is giving. So your comments are wonderful validation for me and for everyone else. And I thank you so much for those comments. And I thank you for paying attention to what's going on in other people's charts, because you all have this happening somewhere in your own lives. And it's wonderful. It's a wonderful validation. It may not be the exact same thing, because we are not carbon copies of one another, but certainly it's going to hit home in some way, shape, or form for you. So Marlene, back to your chart, sweetie. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off here. But you also have some very interesting depth dynamics coming up for you. And I don't want you to be afraid. I want you to go here, right? I want you to, what they say about the diamond, right? The diamond is under pressure, and it takes a lot of heat and a lot of pressure to make a diamond, to take carbon and turn it into a diamond. And literally that's what's happening here for you, as well as Roseanne, this process of pressure and going through the heat of this process and turning into a diamond. And Angie, that makes me think of the diamond people, the Rocancreans. And I just wonder if maybe that has something, maybe there's a process right now that those particular star seeds have to go through. I don't know, but it's interesting that it shows up here right now. Good morning, Natasha. I love it. I haven't seen you in a couple of days. Welcome to the show this morning. So, Marlene, continue moving forward. This isn't an ugly time, but it could be a very powerful time as things begin to uncover for you. You will also have Pluto moving into your 12th house. Not yet, but sometime in 2019, this will happen for you and begin an empowerment process of this deep dive. In the work that you could look at it this way, the work that you do on yourself, both you and Roseanne right now, is going to be the exact work that you're going to be able to do with other people in the very near future. Whether that is, through the job, the job, or whether it's through the things that you love to do, the people that you hang out with. But there's something about you clearing yourself in order to be a clear channel for the other people that you will be working with. And I think that's a wonderful thing too. So Marlene saying, dive deep. Okay, yes, dive deep. Londa saying, we are magnets or mirrors. We either draw experiences in or need to reflect in reflection and oneness. Love it. Angie says, yes, everybody's like, got this. And I love that. So Marlene, I'm going to highlight your chart just as I've done everybody else's so far and show you that your Aries is also in the second house. It's straddling the first. It's both. Most of it's in the first house, but it's also good. Wow. Let me relook at this. Let me rethink this for you. And you happen to be of the same age that Eris is sitting at 9 degrees. So Eris at 9 degrees is going to be in a 60-degree angle to Mars when it is at its furthest before it retrogrades. And that's going to be interesting because there's a personal transformation afoot here for you, a personal empowerment. I wonder, and this is just me, I don't know you, but I'm wondering if you've been hiding in a part of your life where you've been afraid maybe to come out, if you will, and be the real you. I want to say, will the real Marlene Stone please step up and come out and take off whatever masks you've been wearing and be you, right? That's what's happening here. So for almost all of this experience that Mars will be, bringing up, it's going right home to you, right? To your personality, to your viewpoint, to what you believe about yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you view yourself. And how you view the world is also a part of that. So this is very foundational to YOU, where in Roseanne's, it was more in her second house. It was more about self-worth and confidence and esteem. For you, it's more about, maybe I need to emerge, the butterfly coming out of the chrysalis. And we have lots of here's another one for you. Because Jupiter's in Scorpio, and I know you're not a Scorpio, but you've got a lot of Scorpio. You probably have just as many Scorpionic traits as you have Libran traits. You have some powerful energies in Scorpio. And Scorpio is the only sign that has 3 levels of expression in the world where, we all have, like, I'm a Gemini, I'm the sign of the twins. If you're a Libra, it's the sign of the scales. But Scorpio is the scorpion in its lowest frequency, right? The scorpion, the energy of backstabbing or passive aggression, that kind of energy. The scorpion who would rather sting itself to death than to allow a predator to eat it, that kind of thing. So, so in your particular instance, then the second expression is the eagle, where you can rise up a little bit. Like if you're in downtown New York City and all those big buildings are all around you, it limits your vision, your view. But if you move up to the tallest building, your vision improves because now you can see above everything and you have eagle eyes, right? You have a bigger perspective. And the highest expression of Scorpio energy is the Phoenix, the total immolation and rebirth energy of the Phoenix. So in some ways, that is that could be your totem right now, right? This whole idea of raising your perspective, and the perspective is about you, and then becoming the eagle, seeing yourself more clearly, seeing your part in the world, and then eventually maybe even getting to the perspective of the phoenix where you can transform. So I hope that helps. It's a tricky time for you. It is tricky. I don't mean to minimize this. It's interesting. I'm glad it isn't me. I can deal with this vicariously through you, right? And if you need any help, there are plenty of sisters out here and brothers, I'm sure, that can help you see yourself better, see yourself more clearly, and get you through this time. So I hope that helps. Any questions, Marlene, before I go on to the next girl's chart? I'll wait for a second. After Marlene, Phoenix. I love that, don't you? The idea of the Phoenix. Yeah. Okay, so also, if anybody has a question that they didn't want to ask on air, maybe it was more personal or something, you can actually reach out to me via email, Janet Hickox, Hickox @gmail.com. That's my email. Or I'm on Messenger as Living Astrology or as Janet Hickox, either one, I think. And Transformers. That's perfect for you, right? Marlene says, laugh out loud. Sweet. Transformers. Got it. Love it. That's perfect. Anyway, so if you have questions, you can reach out to me and I'd be happy to answer them. All right. So now you're very welcome, Marlene. So now Michelle, totally different story going on in Michelle's chart. And I'm going to show you her chart. And I know she's probably not with us yet. She was having to go to the doctor this morning or something. And thank you, Suzanne. Thank you, Londa. And so here's Michelle's Capricorn energy moving over out of the house of health and into the house of relationship. And she's got quite the pileup going on here. She's got, of course, Mars, Pluto, the Black Moon, Lilith, and Saturn very clearly in her health and healing, health and well-being house. But Mars is going to move forward into the relationship house. And she's a friend of mine. We sat out on the porch the other night, just watching the sun go down while she was waiting for her daughter to get done in town. And, we wax philosophic all the time. And one of the things I know, Michelle, that you are really feeling the missing piece for you right now is a relationship. And we laugh all the time because we see all of these things that open up for her that look like Mr. Right is coming. And then it kind of falls apart and nothing happens. And we're like, what does that mean? But now there is such a gang up of planets that are headed that direction that if nothing happens here, then I'm going to have to put up my astrology shoes and leave it. Because this is really kind of, Mars represents the masculine energy, the male energy. Could literally mean a male walking into your life and establishing a relationship to you. On the other hand, some of this stuff is happening in your healing house first, in the health of your body house, the health of your body house. And so there may be some more work left to do physically in the physical world. Planted feet on the ground. This is Virgo territory. You have Capricorn here, and that may mean more to do with diet, exercise, and energizing the physical body more than it has to do with creating relationships yet. But I think it spills over into that territory. So Londa asking a question, relationship with God or God self. The seventh house is not usually the place where we look at the relationship with the God self. This is usually the very physical energy of bonding with humans, with people. This is community energy. Business partnerships fall in this squarely. Marriage falls in this squarely. The God energies happen in a different place. But literally, healing the I am is what creates the we are in the seventh house, Michelle. So in your own self, then what you can undergo is this process of really strengthening your physical self, right? So that you can put your best face forward, if you will. And the more you take care of your physical being, the more that the light shines from within you outward to the world and becomes more of that attractive force. So there is still work here to do. I think, for you, it's really about being in that grounded energy. Don't be looking for the person, but be attracting the person, right? That person that you want in your life. And all of that begins in the physical for you. And if we look at Aries for you, the Aries energy, I'm going to highlight her chart. I don't know why I didn't do this when I was pulling the charts today or yesterday. Aries for you, like me, up there in the 10th house, right? 9 degrees of Aries. So your Eris is at 13 degrees. Wow. So for you, maybe there's some openings too coming in terms of what you do in the world. Aries energy ruled by Mars, right? So it's affecting your 10th house. It's affecting your worldly house. It's affecting how am I going to express myself in the outer world? And so where some people today that we've talked to were working on the more hidden aspects of their life, the more psychology, psychic, inner planes, you're literally working in the physical planes, the body, how you express yourself, what you do, how you plant your feet on the ground part of the world in order to get your worldly self expressed in the outer world. It's kind of flip-flopped from Suzanne and Roseanne, I think it was, that we had doing that way. So, all of the things that you've been doing as far as keeping yourself, getting healing done, that type of thing. If it's physical healing work, awesome, right? Awesome. A part of physical work is often connected to the spiritual, but your focus has to be in the physical. So Londa, I know that you're her therapist, you're her, what do you call it? Body worker. So keep everything that you do with her, plants her feet firmer on the ground, helps her see herself more clearly in the physical, and healing on the physical happens here with all of this. This is powerful stuff because Pluto's here as well. That Pluto is regenerating your health, your physical body. And from that, there's a better expression of who you are. You feel better and you are exuding health. And that becomes an attractive force then, Michelle, for the people that you want to draw into your life. I hope that helps. That's tricky, tricky, tricky. She's got the Black Moon Lilith in her 7th house. And that means there's a shadow here of feeling powerless in her life because it's the sign Aquarius. That's going to be hit by Mars after October 8th of this year. And offer her a happy heart session. Love it. I don't know what that is, but that sounds good. She's a Leo, so she needs happy heart. I think that's all I need to say for that. Michelle, if you need to talk to me, you know where to find me. When you get done at the doctor, you can call me. So that is all of the charts that I pulled for today. If I didn't get to you, there is always tomorrow. And for the next couple of days, I will be happy to pull people's charts. You just got to let me know that you're interested. I may not be able to do 4 of them tomorrow for sure, because it's Friday and I'll have the weekend forecast to do. We have a new human design week tomorrow that starts. So we need to talk about that. But I may be able to eke out a reading tomorrow. So if you're someone that would want me to do a chart for you, just let me know. And last but not least, I pulled a card this morning. And now I don't remember what the question was. Maybe it was, I think it was just, I know. I felt like, have you ever felt like somebody's following you through your house, through your day, right? I felt like there was somebody with me this morning and they were urging me to draw a card. And that doesn't happen to me very often, but when it does, I really follow that inkling. Not like I had a ghost in my house, but that there was this presence with me urging me to do this. So I just said, okay, what do you want to tell me? Or what do you want me to tell my listeners? Because that's how it was going to work out. So the card I drew was interesting because it is called Chaos and Conflict. Chaos and conflict, right? We have this wonderful sort of horse, I think it is. Maybe it's a donkey. I don't know. Donkey. It is a donkey. Maybe it's a zebra, or maybe it's a giraffe, because it looks like it has all different kinds of energies of different animals in it. And it was upside down. Upside down. So it is a protection message that we will be reading. But I also want you to note that the card is number 33, Christ energy. I like that. So there's a really good message here. Maybe it was Jesus that was following me around and asking me to bring this information to you. So here is the message. And again, I'm using the deck, The Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. I suggest to everybody get this deck. It is profound how it shifts things in your life or brings things up to your focus. So the card 33, Chaos and Conflict, the essential meanings are disarray, being at cross purposes with one another, or with another, the tension of opposites, the value of chaos before order. And because it was upside down, I'm going to read just the protection message. And the protection message is this. This is an advantageous moment to restore order and recognize the opportunity for negotiation. Even in the seeming chaos, there is a kind of divine order, a complete resorting of elements. This is powerful. If your intention is to find the best solution for the highest good of all, there is positive news. The timing is perfect. Things are already stirred up, so don't be afraid to jump into the mix. You'll discover everything you need to know about how the situation affects you long term. Be present in the eye of the chaos. This moment is valuable. Don't waste it. So, not sure who that message is meant for exactly. But I think it's a profound message nonetheless. And we have been in chaos, right? Things have been chaotic. A couple of people, like I said earlier in the broadcast yesterday, reached out and said, but what is up? I mean, we're still in this, I still feel this heavy energy. And yeah, Londa, we love Christ energy. Diane Pegram says, that sounds about right. Londa says, we love Christ energy. Londa says, the storm, the hurricane. Yeah. We've been in all kinds of hurricanes and storms, and literally we're about to be in another one, as Taurus becomes the home of Uranus for the next 7 years. And I just want to say, we're in this all together. We're all shifting and changing and growing, and it's nice to know we're not alone in this. And I think part of the lesson that Chiron has for us in moving into Aries last month is about reaching out when we need help, reaching out, realizing that no man, no woman is an island, and that we are all in this together, this playpen together. And when we need help, reach out, right? Talk to people, get the help you need if you need help, even if it's just someone that needs to listen to you vent for a moment or 10 moments or however many moments, because we all are in this together. All right. Well, that's all I have for everyone today. Remember, if you have any questions about your reading, feel free to email me or talk to me about that. Seems like there was something else I wanted to say. I don't remember now. I guess that's it. So I will see you all tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Pacific, right here. Londa, I know we're going to miss you tomorrow because she's going to be on the road to, I think, Idaho, you said. So we'll miss you, but maybe you can listen to the recording later. And I love everyone. Take care of yourself. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye for now.